Good morning, everyone. Quiet in the back row over there, please. Quiet in the back row. Thank you. Just a welcome from me. My name, if you don't know me, is Chris Creswell. I'm, for layman's terms, the chairman of this establishment. And it's a privilege to be able to host the celebration of life for Vicky. We go back quite a number of years, 20 plus years. So just a couple of little protocols I need to put into place. Obviously, no smoking in the hall. The ladies and gents' toilets are through the door on the right, also in the bar area and the bra area. No smoking in the bar area, but smoking in the bra area. So just a few, and cell phones, please, put them on silent or switch them off. So I'm going to keep my little speech as short as possible because I see Monty has added to lengthy pages every 5 minutes. So, and I think Bridget, yours is also a bit shorter now, thanks to him. So, as we're here today, this is a celebration of life. It's a celebration of good memories, good laughter, and as I've said before, the nicest part about memories is you can stockpile them, and the human brain, being the most amazing data bank and hard drive that you can get, has its own files and folders that it can sift through as you want to call them up whenever you want, which is the nicest part. And each one of you sitting here today or standing here today will share a special moment about Vicky, which is completely different to the next person, and that's the nicest part. You can call them up when you like, how you like, when you like, and they're good memories to have. And being the human brain, you can sift out the bad memories and just keep the good ones and the laughter and the fun. So Vicky had a journey on this earth, and albeit not a very good one, the journey that she's on now is a very special one. And as Jesus said, in my Father's house there are many rooms, and I'll prepare a place for you. But to get there, there's another journey she has to travel. And this time, the journey she's on is pain-free, and Jesus is walking with her on that journey to God's house. I'd just like to ask everyone to please bow their heads. Dear God, we come to you in this time of sorrow and loss. We pray for the soul of Vicky, that she may find eternal rest and peace in your love and embrace. Guide her safely on her journey to your kingdom. We also ask for your comfort and strength for the families and friends, that they might find solace in your love and the memories of Vicky. May they be surrounded by your peace and grace. Amen. So thank you one and all. That's my lot. And I'd like to thank, I can't remember every single family member, but both sides of the family. Again, from me and from the Shadowlands members, our heartfelt condolences to you. And we pray that you find peace in what you feel here today, that you leave here with a smile on your face, knowing that Vicky's gone to a very happy place. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's clearly out of my comfort zone, but it's really good to see so many faces that I haven't seen for a long time. And it's sad that it takes something as devastating as this for us to get together. But I want to thank every one of you that's here today, and I'll do some thanks at the end. There are some people I need to thank. But I'd like to start off with some verses that Jenna, Vicky's daughter, asked me to read out. They're short, so hopefully I won't be talking as long as Chris did. And that's another thing, guys, please, it is a celebration. I don't want to see anyone crying, because if I cry, we're going to have major problems. This is going to turn into an all-day thing, and I really want to get through it so I can get to the bar and have my water. Yes, guys, I've stopped drinking. So, a couple of verses that Jen has pulled out. One is from Proverbs 31, 28 and 29, but you'll have to give me a second because I've got to try and find them. Her children stand blessed. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world. But you surpass them all. In Proverbs 31:25, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. And these verses are very indicative of the type of person that Vicky was. She was an incredibly kind and soul, and those that knew her, she loved life to the fullest. Then Revelations 21:4. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. All these things are gone forever. And then I hated to say this, but I think it's, I think you say Ecclesiastes. Thanks for the help there. This is that word, 3, verses 1 and 4. For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. A time to cry and a time to laugh. A time to grieve and a time to dance. And I will be closing a good book. Thank you, yes. As long as there's no vodka in there, we'll be all right. So I've written a few words. It's only about 18 pages. I'll try and get through them as quick as I can. As I say, I've just got a few words to say about Vicky. This is not about me. It's about her. So we are here to celebrate Vicky, and I'll touch on the reason why we are here, and then we'll run through some memory lanes. Vicky was diagnosed in 2016 with stage 4 COPD. She was in hospital in a coma for 21 days and spent 34 days that trip in hospital. But she pulled through like an absolute champ. In 2019 is when the issues really started. She was on permanent oxygen and in and out of hospital for sometimes weeks on end. And Vix, being the private person she was, made me swear not to tell anyone of these visits. However, by 2025, that's when Vix was really battling. But she fought well. And I've heard of stories that people can cheat death until something in their life happens, and she did. Until her son Aiden came from Canada to see her. We spent a really great 3 weeks. Jenna, Aiden, and their mom had lots of laughs, even at that stage. Vicky was 54. Her birthday was on the 9th of the 4th. Aiden's birthday was on the 10th of the 4th. Vicky passed on the 11th. It's a hell of a fight, guys. Sorry about this one. So Vicky went to, we're going to just touch on some things that I can sort of remember. There's a lot of you here that will know what I'm talking about, and those of you who don't know, will give a kind of insight into the kind of person, Vicky, and what she did in her life. So Vicky went to Person of Primary, and then she was transferred to Swanswyk High as KPS became an English-speaking school. So yeah, for those of you who didn't know, Vicky was Afrikaans. And I know when you spoke to her, you wouldn't think so. After she matriculated in 1989, Vicky worked for Sanlam. But just before that, she actually worked at the Porterhouse in Wynberg, for those of you that might remember it. I don't. And then after Sanlam, she moved to the JD Group, Joshua Dorr. Everyone's got an uncle. She certainly had one there. And in all these jobs that she did, she really excelled, and she obtained numerous awards. Vicky was very good and fastidious about the things she did. Vicky then, for her sins, worked for Billy Rodenbach's Hyundai. And there's a few from the motor trade that'll know why I brought that up. She started off in town as a receptionist, and after a big fight, she got transferred to Wynberg, which was closer to home. And this is when Vicky and I met. I was working in the motor trade at that time as well, at Hyundai in Wynberg. And after a whirlwind romance, we got married on the 25th of March 2000. Vicky then moved to Joburg to join me on a 2-year contract at the Sundome and Monte Casinos. It's a job she loved. In December 22, we moved back to Cape Town and worked for Everite Motors for our sons. They went bankrupt, and in July of 2003, Vicky joined Oliver at MEC, where she worked until her passing in April of 2025. Oliver, it's 22 years. I guess she did an all right job. Vicky had some great hobbies. A lot of you won't know, but she used to love horse riding. She went parachuting, bungee jumping, of which I was not interested. She was absolutely fearless, kind and giving, sometimes to a fault. Her greatest achievements were Jenna and Aidan, and she gave her all to them, as much as she could, and a damn fine job she did. They turned out to be independent, with Jenna moving to Thailand, who is here today. She came home to assist with her mom until the end. Aidan, who's in Canada, as I said, was here just before. And I know you'd love to have been here, but the time he spent with his mom before passing was memories he'll never get back. Unfortunately, he had to go back. He's now a Canadian resident. I don't know how good their health scheme is, but anyway, he's on their health scheme. He started a new career, which is why he couldn't be with us today, plus the 60,000 Rand airfare ticket. Well done, kids. All that know you can testify what great kids you turned out to be, and all under your mom's guidance. Your stepdaughters in the UK, Vicky loved you both. She was always sorry that she only got to meet Saris. That's my eldest. She, however, always kept abreast of what Chelsea was up to, and she was very proud of Saris's kids and Chelsea's daughter. Some of the things Vicky used to enjoy, and some of the outings we went on were cruises, of which she organized for the family. And that was a really fantastic trip. Although we could never find Aidan, because he was on a ship and thought he could go where he wanted. Vicky never ever worried. I did, she didn't. She said he can't go anywhere. And if he falls over, he can swim. Vicky had a great sense of humor, sometimes very dark. She always used to tell the doctor that was looking after her at the time, you must never worry about her dying. She never wanted me to be happy again. Vicky accompanied me on numerous trips to Sun City, Zambia, and she was in awe of Vic Falls. We went to the Drakensberg Mountains, Mossel Bay, on the farm where we spent with the entire family and friends, of which some of you are here today. Aquila Game Farm, thank you to MEC for that trip. We used to go to numerous casinos. She loved the slot machines. And for some reason, she always made money on them, and I used to lose them on the tables. And I'm sure some of these places will bring back memories to some of you here today. The trips on the wine routes, Strandloop, as she loved, Friedenberg, Paternoster, there's so many more. Vicky certainly lived a full life until she became ill. And let's not forget the drinking and the brine. I'll never forget a particular night we had bride at Eugene and Belinda's. And after copious amounts of alcohol, she decided she wanted to go and visit Tilly, a friend of hers. Tilly lives in George. Anyway, after I got lost, because I had no idea where I was, driving in the fog, about 12 hours later, we got to George. Guys, I don't want to make this a big thing. As I say, I've got some things to do at the end. I know some of you want something to say. Sorry, I keep moving away. These were just some of the highlights of memories that I could remember. But the one thing I'll take away from Vicky, and that is life is for the living. And spend as much time with your friends and family, because he's gone too quick. I'd like to call up anybody else who has anything to say, any eulogies, anybody, even if it's a few words, maybe a memory that you'd like to share with us. As I said, this is a celebration, guys, so if you have something to say, please don't be shy. We'll start with Rogero. Nobody else wants to come up, you might as well come talk. Rogero's a very long-time friend of Vicky and myself. He's from Joburg originally. And his very first day that he came to Cape Town, he met us. He's never been the same.
You know, often you come to these celebrations of life and you prepare a speech. And then it just falls away because it doesn't really mean much if it doesn't come from the heart. As you know, I met Vicky for the very first time when I met her father, Mr. Lamont over there, and I was in the Navy. Do you remember that? And she was still a youngster. I think she was still at school. So that was in the when Noah built his ark, 90. So it's in the 90s, and that's when I first met her. And this young little girl that used to be very good friends with my cousin, Patty. And that's how I met her, and I knew who she's about and what she's about. And then I also got to meet her mad brother, Eugene. So it was all at the same time, and that's him over there. And I find her to be very gentle and kind, and even at that young age. And she was like a little angel. We also went to the driving across the road, what's it called? Seabreeze. You sneak in at night when nobody looks at what's happening and you go watch movies for free. He's always helping. He's always coming at the end there. And so we had many brides, as Monty was saying. The very first week I got into Cape Town, I had the privilege of meeting Vicky again after such a long time. And because she was a very, very, very good friends with my cousin. And I'll tell you, she was just a wonderful person. And she just was there all the time and helped you and always wanted to get people together. And if she wanted something, she phoned you until you you took her call. She was very adamant that way. She asked you for something and you didn't answer her, she's going to phone you again and again and again. And she did that. And she didn't ask for much, though. She didn't want a lot. She wanted the best for her family. And she always spoke about her kids and very proud of her. We went on many events, going away, camping, and all sorts of things together. So we were very close. And to see her the way she was in the end wasn't great at all. And it's heartfelt, and you just prayed for her and hoped for her something better. And I believe she's somewhere better, somewhere where she can feel, she can look down and start helping everybody from a point where we don't understand where she is and what she is. But she's here, she's around us, you can feel it. And I'm just saying to my very good friend Monty, that I've known for a long time, that we're all here, as you can see, we've all arrived here in support of the family, in support of Jenna and Aidan and the rest of the family. And I just want to say to you, in the days to come, things will change. You're going to create new memories, but always remember that she's there. There's a little thing that I saw, and I think it's appropriate, and I'll end off with. See, I do have notes. And it says, it's a Japanese saying that goes, crying is how your eyes speak when your mouth can't explain how broken your heart is. Okay, so you can shed those tears. Thank you. Anybody else?
I'm not sure if anybody else wants anything to say. Marius, thank you. Marius is an old primary school friend of Vicky's and of the family.
Hi, my name is Marius. My first best friend sitting there. I probably know Vicky about 45 years. Mike, that's a lifetime. Well, I actually want to explain something. When she was this high, me and that man was very naughty. I can't believe that I actually joined the police later, but the thing with Vicky was that she was always there. She was one of the guys. There's just two stories I would like to tell. You know, Friday nights, the adults playing ball there in the Dutch Reformed Church there at Swanswyk. And me and Eugene and Vicky and some other friends, we went to throw stones from the corner of the one onto the roof of a house close by. And then we run into the yard of the church again, and we laughed, because we see the guy come out and switch on his light, and we go back. It was about the third or fourth time. We went back and we were laughing, and then suddenly just a figure came diving over. And this guy was smacking us around there. But Vicky was the smart one, because when she saw him, she actually hid. There was a palm tree right there at the corner, and she was hiding there. And when the guy finished with us, guys, he hopped back, and we were laughing, and then she came out, and she was laughing because we got all the brunt and she got nothing. Now, every year Swanswyk Church had a bazaar. So there was one of these things that you put the copper cable into the water, and the other one you held on, and then you swing this thing that generates some electricity. And me and Eugene was trying to figure out who was the best. And we grabbed this thing, and at one stage, he was thrown back right onto my dad's car, so hard as I was turning this thing. But to tell you the truth, Vicky didn't stand back, because she also did the same thing. She was holding on, claiming she was the best. That stage we didn't have stopwatches, so we never knew. But I just want to say that since the way I know her, she was one of the boys, always up to the nonsense that we've started. She was always there. And that's the way I'll remember. When I came in, there's one of the pigtails. That is my fondest memories of her. She always had those pigtails, and when we run away from whoever is chasing us, that pigtails was there. So yeah, that's Monty. My heart goes out to you, my friend. And Eugene and Mike, long life friends for me. Thank you very much.
Marius, thank you for that. I think it's very brave to tell those stories, considering you're now a captain in the SAPS. Talking about copper wire pipe, now we know where it's going, I'm coming to your house. Does anybody else want anything to say? Zen, thank you. Zen is one of Vicky's newest friends, and the two of them are always on the phone. I couldn't hide a thing.
Hi, everybody. I met Monty in 2022, so that's obviously when I met Vicky. To give you a bit of background, whenever I was on the road with Monty, I would be on the call with Vicky. And me and Vicky would call at the weirdest times at night, and we'd sit on the phone for about 3 hours at a time, just talking. She would always ask me to look out for Monty. To give you a gist of it, just a bit offside, when I was with Monty on shifts, we'd always make fun of each other, and he would obviously always say, I don't know what I did in my life as a 60-year-old man to have a gay best friend of 25 years old. And then I would look at him and I'd say, well, my best friend's a fossil that saw the Great Depression. So, I mean, that's just how funny life is. But, I mean, to speak about Vicky, there was one thing Monty told me when I met him, and I asked him, I was like, tell me more about your wife. And he told me, Zen, she is the salt of the earth. And I never knew what that meant until I actually met Vicky. Vicky was the kindest person I've ever met. She is giving, like Monty said, to a fault, to the point where I would actually shut her out. Like we'd have arguments, I'll be like, why are you doing this? What is wrong with you? She'll be like, oh no, but I love them. I'll do this for anybody. I mean, she was just such a pleasure to know. She always had her kids' best interests at heart, and she loved her husband. And I don't know how I can elaborate on that, but she loved her husband and she loved her kids to a fault. She would not stop talking about them. Even when I'm at work, even when I'm in court, she will message me and say, you know, I actually love my kids. I'm like, yes, Vicky, I'm aware. I know, Vicky. Vicky, I know. But one thing I can say, it was a pleasure to know her, and she did tell me that obviously her kids were not here at the time, and I was basically her emergency contact, because there was one night, which also led to me and her having an argument, where Monty was sick. Monty had the chills, and Monty was lying on his couch, and then now if you knew Vicky couldn't really move like the rest of us. She struggled. And now obviously Monty is sick, and now Vicky's in the house. And then she called me after the fact when Monty's at work, and then she's like, oh, you know, Monty was sick. I mean, he could have died last night. I look at him like, dude, why did you not call me? Oh, no, I don't want to disturb you. I'm like, Vicky, like, what is wrong with you? But that's just a tribute to her as well. I mean, she was, as well as she loved helping everybody, she was fiercely independent. She wouldn't really allow people to help her. I mean, that's just the type of person she was. But one thing she did ask me in her last couple of days was to look after her husband. I don't know if I'm doing a good job. He's still standing. He's not drinking yet. But I'll keep an eye out for him. Anyway, Vicky, we love you. We'll always love you. And let's just be more like Vicky, more like the salt of the earth.
So Zen is not only just my friend, but he's my lawyer. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Is anybody else want to say anything? It's my sister Angela, Vicky's sister-in-law.
Hello, everybody. My mom wanted to say something, so I got designated as the person to come up and speak. My mom got to spend quite a bit of time with Vicky the last couple of years. She would go around and spend a few days there, and I think poor Vicky's ears got talked off. But I think Mom made copious cups of tea, and they got to spend like some really nice times together. And Mom had a fall last year, and Wayne came around, but of course Vicky couldn't. But Vicky made it her mission the last couple of months. Every day, sort of late afternoon, there I'd hear the phone ring, and there she was on the phone with Mom. And she was horribly sick at times. As Wayne said, Vicky was very private, so you didn't know she was sick, but there she was, just worrying about Mom all the time, finding out how she's doing, and just making sure that everything was okay with her. And that was amazing. And I think Mom said to me, she just wanted me to say that Vicky was an incredibly kind person, and that is what she carries with her. But Jen and Aidan, all your mom would talk to about, and I could sort of half hear the conversations, is your adventures and what you were doing. And she missed you horribly, but she was so proud of both of you, and so proud of what you were doing and the way you were walking in life. So that's it.
I know I keep bringing the thanks with me, but it's not to stop you from anyone wanting to say anything. Right, this is the final call. Thank you. Nobody else has anything to say. I'll carry on with the thanks. Once I've done with the thanks, Rogero will do the closing prayer, and then through those massive doors behind you, there will be snacks, and the bar will be open. Anybody who wants to buy me a drink, I drink sparkling water. So there are the people that I'm about to thank, and there's just so many, but these are people that are highlights, and these are people I need to mention. One being Pietro, a very dear friend of Vicky's, who's joining us on Livestream all the way from the States. I think she's probably in Texas at the moment, or Colorado, I'm not sure. I just want to say thank you to Pietro, that lovely bouquet of flowers, the live streaming, and the 3 big pictures up there. Pietro organized for today. They were also a very good friend. They also spent a lot of time on the phone. I think Pietro was one of Vicky's confidants. So she probably know a lot more about Vicky than most of us. I know that she was the one person, if Vicky had something bad to say, or if she had anything to say negative, Pietro would be the person she would say it to. Oliver from MEC. So Oliver looked after Vicky and mentored her for 22 years. I remember when they started off in some little dingy house in Kirstenhof and moved to, believe it or not, I think it was Kemmers Road in Wynberg. And Vicky always had good things to say about your company, and you particularly. Your kindness and friendship cannot be repaid. To the staff at MSC who are here in front of me, thanks for putting up with all this nonsense. Thank you for allowing her to work from home. Thank you for supporting her. It really goes a long way with the family. To Ozzy and Zelma from Prosec, your patience in allowing me to take Vicky to appointments, to drop her at work when she was still going to work, when she stopped driving, take her home afterwards. It was good for exposure in Kirstenhof, just what I say. Your kindness and understanding, for that I will always be eternally grateful. To our friends at Dawn Patrol Shell Hole, when they heard of Vicky's passing, I got a phone call from Chris Creswell, and he said to me, whatever he could do, they would do, and they've certainly come to the party. I want to thank you for allowing us to use this amazing venue. I've been here for a few weddings, I've been here for a few funerals, I've been here for a few celebrations of life, and you guys have always been more than accommodating. The playlist that you'll be listening to later on today, or once we finish off here, is a playlist of songs Vicky used to listen to, and yes, Los Lapi is there inside his captain. Then on this, I don't know how many of you have noticed this slideshow that's been going on behind you there on the side. Take a minute to go through them and have a look. There's the pictures of her horse riding, there's pictures of her with her kids. And if you have a look at them, you'll see how happy she actually was when she wasn't ill. And then finally, to everybody that's watching and from live on this live stream, we've got people from New Zealand, Australia, England, Ireland, America, and Canada, and then in cities and towns all around South Africa. These are people Vicky met when she was in the casino industry, in the motor trade, and a lot of those people in these countries are family as well, especially in Ireland. To my Uncle Bernard, he's watching with my family there. My cousins in Dubai. I've had to name a few people specifically, and these were people that Vicky loved dearly, and that's especially her family. Dad, Judy, Eugene, Belinda, Jenna, Aidan, Cammy and Carl, who couldn't be here today because their flight was delayed. Cyrus, Chelsea, Danny, Gary, Sophia, which was one of her step-grandchildren, Logan and Ava, Mom, Angela, Anthony, Kevin, Vince, Stacy, my sister Marion, Terry, Marion and her husband Terry and their son Matt have all had a huge impact as family on Vicky's life. There's certainly too many people that I can. If I had to name everybody, we'd be here till 5 o'clock this afternoon. Lastly, all I can say is gone, but she'll never be forgotten. And thank you all for joining us today. It's been a privilege having you with us. Jero, if you can do your thing, please. Oh, I did tell you about the food afterwards, eh? And the bar will be open. Military prices, really cheap. Go wild.
I saw some photographs of myself up there. I was young. A long time ago. These are just for show. As a community to surround Monty, Aidan, and Jenna and their loved ones with our thoughts, prayers, and love during this profoundly difficult time. May they find the strength in memories they shared and the comfort in knowing they are not alone. We stand beside them, offering our support and care in the days ahead. If you can all bow your heads for prayer. Gracious God, as we come to the close of the celebration of Vicky Joan Montgomery's life, we thank you for the gift of her presence among us. We are grateful for the love she gave so freely, the strength she showed so bravely, and the joy she brought to so many hearts. We lift up Monty, Aidan, and Jenna to you. Surround them with your peace, grant them comfort in their grief, and let the warmth of Vicky's memory be a light in the days to come. May they feel her love in every gentle breeze, every quiet moment, and every shared story. Though Vicky has departed from this world, a spirit remains. In every act of kindness, in every bond of love, and in every life she touched. May we honor her by living with the same grace, compassion, and courage she so beautifully exemplified. Go with us now, Lord, as we carry her memory forward. May we find hope in the promise of eternal peace and strength in the love we hold for one another. Rest in peace, Vicky. You will never be forgotten. Amen.
You'll see now. That's what.
Let's all stay now. Yeah, sure. This is Isabel's.
That's my cousin Marty.
This is Isabel. She wants to stay in makeup. This is just a